Right.
But then the elder players who make, the YouTube content, not necessarily you guys, but there would be a subset of players that would be angry that we did that. The drama YouTube video or it really, really makes it hard for myself and others on the team to want to engage in that content and actually look at it. I know it's maybe speaking truth to power is the thing, but man, it's tough to listen to. I'm just some dude making a video game who has, a wife and a family and has to go home at night to be happy about that. But, I watch some of these videos and it's just like, man, I'm not a criminal. I'm not here to make your life miserable. I'm trying to make something you enjoy. Brozine, to be honest with you, some of your videos come off really harsh and they're really hard to watch. Are they wrong? I don't think they're necessarily wrong, but goddamn, the tone of them sometimes, I just open them up, I listen to the first 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and I'm just like, I can't listen to this. Mentally, for my well-being, I just can't listen to this.
That's
so
fair.
we sometimes we punt those to, community managers and community people to kind of do a summary on so that we do get the feedback. But goddamn, they're hard to listen to sometimes.
Yeah.
So I try to, and in those days where I'm in the mood to, I try to, plow through them. The last couple of days, because I have been working on the Railjack Revisited, I've been trying to get through as much Railjack feedback YouTube videos, and rightfully so. They are negative. They have a negative slant, but goddamn, they're soul crushing for the effort that was put into it and the result that it is, and the ambition that's there. And then you watch that and you go, goddamn. But we want to make it better. We want to improve the game. We're not here to tank it. We're not here to fleece you guys for more money.
Right.
We are trying to make a fun game that is fair to play, and we want to take the feedback where we can get it.
Okay. Swazdula, you knuckleheads, how the hell are you? Alright, so D.E. Scott, this video is more or less directed at you. I almost want to say face to face, which it kind of isn't. I wish it was, but it's not. I'm going to say right now at the beginning of the video, don't be frightened. I take from your interview that you gave with Quiet Shy and the other knuckleheads that these kinds of videos, well, not these kind, not this one in particular, but that these videos that mention your names, not just you alone, but I assume for the rest of the team as well, are a little bit hard to watch because in your words they're sometimes soul crushing, and I get that. But I want you to rest assured this isn't that. You can comfortably lean back in whatever thing you're sitting in right now and have your beer and drop your guard and everything is fine, because honestly the only thing that I really want to say, and I think I can speak for pretty much everyone or the vast majority of the Warframe community here, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for speaking publicly like an actual person and not some corporate douche who's trying to hide scammy, shady ways. I really feel like you deserve a medal or some form of appreciation for what you did. And I'll get to that in just a minute. I really feel like this kind of heart-to-heart has been well overdue, and I'm going to get to all of that in just a moment. But you see, when you said, and this isn't criticizing, I just really want to emphasize on this. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that video that you said that I could make a whole video series out of this and just mention everything, but it would be kind of a silly point, and I'm not into the habit of clickbaiting my viewers into watching my stuff just so that I can get revenue. And also it would be very redundant because I'd just be agreeing with a lot of the things that you're saying and just be like silently nodding essentially. But one point that I really do want to jump on is the part where the part that I just showed where you kind of spoke up to Brozyme specifically about how soul-crushing these videos sometimes can be. And I get that. You're only human, and that's fine, but I have to also say, good. I'm not happy about you taking it home with you, if that's actually the case. I'm not happy about the feeling that I and maybe some other content creators may have caused you to feel hurt, actually, personally attacked. I'm not happy about that. For me personally, I do try to make it very, very clear that that is not my intention at all. Like I did a year ago, pretty much, a little over a year ago with my whole partnership fiasco video. My goal has always been to have Warframe be the best it can be. I want you guys, the developers, to be happy. I want your faces to light up like a kid's face on Christmas morning, right? When they open up their presents every time you guys drop an update, because the community is really happy about it and it's great and all those good things. That's what I want. I want the community, I want the players, us, to eagerly wake up 2 hours ahead of time before they have to go to work or go to school or whatever the hell to play Warframe because it's that fun. And my goal with all of my videos personally, where in the community's words, shit on you guys, which I don't think I'm doing, to be totally honest, but okay, let's just roll with that wording. My goal has always been communication. I want a bridge. I want to bring the community, us guys, the players, and you guys, the developers. I want the you and the us to be the we again that it once was. And I think that your interview that you did with Quite Shy and the rest very much displayed that. You have no idea, Scott. You have no idea, I think, how crucial that little interview is. For you, it might be, a little thing. You just spent an hour and a half or two talking to some knuckleheads, and that's just about it. It might not be a big deal for you, but we hear you. You know what I mean? You are being heard. You come across as a person. You come across as someone who actually cares, which doesn't look like it, or didn't look like it before. Not you personally in that matter, but just generally, Digital Extremes, you guys have said some things, but then done some other things. And over the years, what I'm getting at, I guess, is over the years, a lot of people have been getting angry and frustrated, but you need to understand why we're getting frustrated. And this video shows how it's done right. We get frustrated because you say one thing, but do another. Like, for example, just to paint a picture. You guys first tease Railjack to be this amazing, wonderful, great thing, and you show us your ambition, and that's great, and everybody's hyped, right? And then a week or a few weeks before release, you know damn well, it's not going to be that. You know damn well it ain't all that great. It's not what it was hyped up to be and all that stuff. You know this. You know this before you release it. And then you do release it, but before you do, you tell us, here comes Railjack next week, it's going to be great. And then it turns out to be, well, the mess that it was, let's be honest, right? And that makes us players feel like you're lying to our faces. It makes us feel like you guys are incompetent, which many of us know you definitely are not. The evidence is there that you aren't, but it kind of paints a not so good picture. And you've consistently been doing these kinds of things of seeming negligent, ignorant, and all these things. I've never said that you guys are trying to do that. That would be silly. Why would you want to hurt your own game and your community? That would be dumb. We players are literally the people who put foods on your table, right? That's just counterproductive. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, right? But your actions speak so much louder than words. And after as many years have gone by of getting the feeling of not being heard, our frustration increases, right? Which again, you did really, really well in this video, just having an open, honest, transparent heart to heart. Had you guys said before the release of Railjack, a week before, instead of, hey, it's going to be great, if you guys would have said, well, it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, but it's time to throw it out, it's time to ship it and really get you guys on it so we can, you know, get your feedback and everything. It's just time, but bear with us. It's not what we expected it to be. So, you know, something along those lines. I guarantee that 90% of the heat that you guys got from Railjack would never have existed because you would have been very concise and just straight up, honestly, very human. Because let's face it, shit happens, okay? Us content creators are kind of in the same boat. We create something and people will react to it, right? We get held accountable for the shit that we do. Now, I personally don't have much of a problem with that at all because, like, I think I'm fairly consistent. I don't change my opinion to appease people's feelings. I don't give a shit. I will say what needs to be said. As I mentioned in my partnership video a year ago, my quote was, a true friend doesn't tell you what you want to hear, but tells you what you need to hear. And Scott, I agree with the part where you said it's hard to listen to when you're getting bashed on. And I'm going to agree, some of my fellow content creators are assholes. I'm not going to lie, that's just how it is. Stupid, inconcise, incoherent assholes. That's just the nature of it. But some of us aren't. Some of us are heated, sure, frustrated, sure, like myself, but the points that we make are still valid, and they still do come from a place of, well, compassion, I guess, or passion, rather. We don't want to hurt you, but we want to get the point across. And when you make us feel like you're not listening to any of us, or even the players, and all of these things, then it, you know, it kind of breeds frustration to the maximum level, right? And you effectively nullified that, at least for me. And from what I can tell from Quite Shy's comment section, and partially my server, for example, my Discord, it seems like a lot of people feel the same way. They really appreciate that you had the balls, so to speak, to actually just be open and honest with us. And it makes us understand what is going on. It also helps us know that we're still on the same page, you guys and us guys. You guys want Warframe to be good, and you want to reach for the skies. We're telling you, you don't need to reach for the skies, though. Not all the time. It's fine to be ambitious, but not at the expense of quality or whatever, you know? If you guys try to develop something that's supposed to be the next big thing, and then some shit happens, doesn't matter what, because shit does happen, then why is it a problem to tell us? Like, for example, with my partnership back in the day. Why was it such a big damn deal to tell me why I'm not being partnered? Would it have broken anyone's bones or hearts to say, hey, Ashisogi Tenno or aka Jizo, we don't like your content, fuck off? Would that have been so bad? I mean, I get that you're Canadian and that would be a little bit too harsh. I get that. But at least I would have known. Same with updates and your update mentality and like, where's the content and content drought and shit like that. We understand if you guys tell us that shit went wrong, that shit hit the fan, that there might be internal problems or whatever. We get that. That's fine. But playing it off or kind of seeming like you're pretending that nothing is wrong, that pisses us off. And that will cause us to dig in places we have no business digging. And that will cause us to reveal contradictions. Another thing that I want to get at that I also really want to praise you for is, let's go with the example with Megan recently. And again, at this point, I'm mentioning a name, yes, sure, but I'm not shitting on anyone. And I have met Megan in real life, yes, and I find her absolutely charming and everything's fine. I have no problem with her. But on one of the recent dev stream things from home or whatever, someone donated $1,100 and their name was Ray Talius is right. Now we know damn well that that Megan and Danielle saw that donation because they did acknowledge it eventually, but they didn't acknowledge the name. Now, okay, if this was the only time something like this would happen where you guys are live somewhere or public and you ignore a certain name or content creator or topic or whatever, then I wouldn't even bring this up because, you know, it's possible. I stream myself. I know what it's like to miss a whole bunch of chat or not acknowledge certain things, even though they're right in front of my face. But you guys have been doing that for a very long time, where it seems very much like you are intentionally ignoring things, which honestly gives me, or, well, yeah, let's just go with me. I'm not going to speak for everybody else. I'm assuming my fellow content creators feel similar. But for me, it makes me feel like you either don't care or you intentionally ignore us, which are both really bad pictures to paint, right? I don't understand why is it such a big deal for you guys sometimes to acknowledge people. Why don't you mention Raytalius's name on a death stream? I commented under, I think his last video it was, that I would find it a really powerful sign from you guys if you would open up a dev stream and start off with, or at some point mention something like, by the way guys, we saw Raytalius's video and, you know, we're looking into it, and you just maybe respond to it a little bit or something, or any of my videos or any of Brozyme's videos or whoever, it doesn't matter who, but talk. Speak to us, be open. At the very least, we don't need to agree with you. We don't need to be on the same page or any of that. You don't need to appease us, but at least you'd be showing that you guys watch these things, that you guys hear us out, that you guys actually pay attention to this stuff. I was a little bit surprised, but also kind of not, Scott, that you, well, I'm going to say admit it, but that makes it sound dramatic. But I was a little surprised that you admitted that you try to watch these videos, so I have to assume you've probably come across mine as well, and honestly, that made me feel really good. It made me feel like what I'm doing was not for no reason, because myself, I think it's kind of fair, and for everybody watching this right now, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you feel differently, but I think it's somewhat fair to say that the four Riders of the Apocalypse, when it comes to, in quotes, shitting on Warframe, are myself, Raytalius, the Reaper Hunter, and Brozyme. The four of us seem to be like Apocalypse Now for you guys, which I don't agree with. I know that it's kind of like a meme and haha, and these guys are going to tear DE a new one and all that stuff. No, we're not trying to destroy you or even hurt you. We are trying to get you to actually listen and point at fires that are burning in your backyard that you seem to be ignoring, you know? And like I said, your video really showed that you do care, that you do actually watch these things. You know what I mean? Now, I get that sometimes we do come across as really harsh, and I'm not saying I'm not making excuses. I sure as hell am not going to excuse myself for, let's say, my tone or my choice of words. I know damn well what I said, and I know damn well what my tone is, too. I'm not changing myself just to appease your feelings, for example. I'm sorry if you take it personally. I really am. I don't want you to go home and cry, for example. Like, literally, not me or anything. I do not want to be responsible for you feeling, like, deeply hurt after you've put in so much work into this stuff and whatnot, and then you just get crushed for it. I get that. I'd feel the same way. I have felt that way with videos where I made a video and I poured my heart and soul into it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a good one. And then the sumbitch gets, like, 100 views. Opposed to a red crit video that gets 100,000. You know, in that case, I'm also in the same boat where I'm like, man, this ain't right. You know, so I get that. I can relate to that feeling, and I don't want to be responsible for you feeling personally attacked or even hurt. And if that's just the case, then, well, I'm sorry. Not going to change my opinion, though, nor is anybody else. But what I'm trying to get at, again, is you just having a very open heart-to-heart was so good. It was so good. And like I said, I think the comment section on Quite Shy's video kind of reflects that. Or some of mine reflect that as well. People are very happy about this. You showed that you guys do care, or at least you. I'm not going to allow you to represent the entirety of Digital Extremes, but at least you seem to very much care not just about this game, but also about the community, about the players, the people who, you know, it's about more or less. You know, you seem to care. And I feel after many years of having a very clear pattern of avoiding direct contact, I'm not saying conflict because there really isn't a conflict, I'd say, but avoiding direct contact with issues like Ray Talius's videos, my videos, other videos and whatnot, just kind of makes it seem like, you know, you don't care, but you prove that you do. You said you see these videos. Sometimes you give it to a team of community people or whatever to review and break it down into stuff. You know, Scott, I get that. And I guess that's a decent business model to have a team dedicated to breaking down content. Because, like I said, there are content creators out there. Some of them are partnered, some of them are not, who do spill mad bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. Me hearing some of the dumb shit that they say in the partner Discord or on their videos just makes me sit back and shake my head like, shut up, right? And I don't mean to attack anyone, obviously, because I'm not going to mention any names. You know who you are, and it's fine. You know, you do whatever you do, but it kind of annoys me when there are half of the Warframe content creators who are trying to help Warframe, seriously help Warframe and see the big picture. Like, for example, Rosei, myself, and Reaper Hunter, Ray Talius, and so on and so forth, Sabuchi and Trib and all these guys. When there's half of the Warframe partner program that, or not just the partner program, but half of the content creators who are trying to help the bigger picture, the larger community and whatnot, and then there's this other half who are just self-centered and can't see beyond their own table and whatnot. It's kind of annoying because they're, well, honestly, stupid opinions dilute the ones that are actually really good and trying to help out, right? That's annoying, and I get that you guys would give some of this stuff to, well, people that are dedicated to picking that apart. But, Scott, here's a wild idea. How about you just address people directly? You know, if you hear about a video, and I mention this in many of my videos, I'm there. You guys can reach out to me easily. I know some of the others are just as available. They just don't make it very clear. And I also know, to give you credit where credit is due, that you have acknowledged and reached out, for example, to Ray Talius, specifically with the Vauban rework and whatnot, which was great. It was a really great sign of good faith, no matter what came out of that. Why not just, if you hear, okay, let's say Ashisogi Tenno uploaded a video and it's called Scott hates my guts, or Scott hates the simulacrum, or whatever the fucking topic is, doesn't matter. Or Ray Talius uploaded the corruption of DE Part 2. I get that you don't want to watch that. I wouldn't want to watch it either. But we probably have some valid points. At least it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out who has concise points and is actually trying to figure this out, like, you know, and help. Which D. Rebecca kind of pointed out in one of her streams where she said, not streams, but I think it was a video or interview or something, where she mentioned that it's not very difficult to distinguish who's actually trying to help the game and who's just trying to harm it, right? So you guys have that power to figure that out easily. But how about you just reach out to these content creators? If you show up in my DMs on Discord out of the blue and be like, hey, you got a minute? I'll have a minute for sure. Be like, yeah, sure. What's up, Scott? Be like, you know, and I don't know, you'd be like, well, I heard of this video, or it's been brought to my attention, or I watched the fucking video or whatever. How about this? And then, you know, we do something and you just get that feedback directly. I'm not going to bite your head off. I have nothing against you personally. I really don't. And I'm sorry if it comes across that way sometimes. I guess it might. I don't think it does, because I do try to make it very clear that I don't, but oh well. But for example, I'd be like, all right, cool, yeah, let's work something out. We can get into a call. I live in Germany. I'll wake up at some ungodly hour and grab myself some coffee or some meat or whatever the hell, and just have a conversation with you and give you some straight feedback and very concisely. But ask. And I'm not the only one, by the way. I'm not the only one that would feel that way. How do you think Reaper Hunter would feel, even though he's more or less kind of dropped Warframe as a game to dedicate himself to and whatnot? How do you think he would feel, or Ray Talius would feel, if y'all would show up in our DMs or wherever, it doesn't matter, and just be like, hey, I heard you talking about X, let's hear it, or something. we'd be happy. We'd be like, ah, cool. We're being heard. Great. Well, hold on now. Wait a minute. Let me take my job seriously. Let me kind of confer with my community first and make sure I'm not making any wrong decisions. Or let me make sure as a content creator I'm not representing myself, which a lot of them do. Not gonna lie. I try not to. You know, let's take our job seriously as partners as well. We'd be happy. We'd be really happy. And it won't hurt. You know, we don't want to hurt you. We want to help you guys. And you guys acting, seeming as if you aren't listening or as if you don't care about our opinions and things like that, those are the types of behavioral patterns that breed the amount of frustration and straight up hate as well, because it is out there, and anger that you guys are getting. And as a final word, I know I've kind of been all over the place with this video, but like Scott, this is really just me talking to you more or less directly, that this little interview is huge. It means quite a bit, and it is significant. And I think it is really good that you guys also retweeted that interview. I would have loved to have been on that interview with you guys. I would have loved, which I'm asking D.E. Taylor right now for interviews with you guys. This is exactly the kind of thing that I was going for. This is exactly the kind of goal I was reaching for with many of my videos, or a lot of the rants that I've had during my streams, is this kind of open, transparent, heart to heart, right? I would have loved to have been there, but ultimately, I don't give a shit who you guys talk to. I don't care whose videos you show up on. I don't care how you acknowledge it. Is it during a dev stream, or is it with Twitter? Is it with... I don't care. But show us that you care, okay? Show us that you're not trying your darndest to ignore the name Raytalius because it's associated with negative things. If you pay attention to Raytalius, you'll hear, though he does have a very harsh way of wording things, it's still very factual, right? It is factual, and it's not wrong. Just like my partner video, that was probably the harshest video I've ever made against you guys, so to speak. Nothing that I said in that video was untrue, you know? So show us that you hear us. Show us that you acknowledge the community. Show us these things, just like you did. And like, Scott, as a final word on this, like, seriously, you're a freaking hero right now in some funny way, right? What you did, I don't know if it seems like a big deal to you. I can only imagine you may have been a little bit nervous of the moment when that video went live. But what you did was, like, seriously, hands down, I salute you for that. That's very respectable, and thank you so much. From not just me, but from whoever else agrees with me, which I assume the comment section will also kind of reflect. Thank you for being real with us. Thank you for not being afraid to say shit the way it actually is. And thank you for not trying to bullshit your way around some sensitive topics that nobody likes talking about this shit, but we need to talk about them nonetheless. The only way that you can make progress in any kind of a conversation or relationship is if you grab the problem by the freaking balls and bring it to light and discuss it. There's no other way to do it. If you can't be direct, to quote what's his face, Harvey Specter from the show Suits. Actually, it was Donna. Never mind, it was Donna. To quote Donna, if we can't tell each other the harsh truth, then what are we doing here? Okay, so thanks, Scott. This was very eye-opening, much needed for the community as well, because we've been left in the dark, or seemingly left in the dark. Please don't do that anymore. I hope that more of the team finds confidence to actually acknowledge these things and not ignore the name Raytalius during your dev streams or whatever. Whatever it is you're doing. I don't know if you're doing it on purpose, but it sure as hell does look like it. And I hope that a lot more devs will follow in your steps. And kudos, honestly. Very good. And yeah, again, I am available if you guys want to reach out about anything. Even if you just want to have a chat, then please do. I'm on Discord and Twitter and Instagram and all that crap. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. And Scott, again, thanks. Thanks for your honesty and being open and not bullshitting us and just as the cool kids say, keeping it 100. More of that, please. Thanks. Until next time, guys, peace the fuck out.